And now I'm joined here with women's head basketball coach Eric Simpson. Eric, thank you so much for coming down.
Thanks so much for having me here, Pat. Great to be here.
First off, what are your general expectations for the team this year? You guys returned 6 starters, or 6 of your top scorers. Like, what are some of your thoughts of going into this season?
Yeah, we've got expectations for this to be our best year yet. You know, I'm going in my 3rd year as the head coach, and we've got some continuity with our staff and our style of play. So we really feel like we have the depth and athleticism to take a major step forward. In terms of win totals, we're not really thinking about a specific number. We just want to be as competitive as we possibly be, continue to win as many games as we can. And I think the main thing that every team in the Horizon League is looking for is to be playing our best basketball at the end of the season, going into that Horizon League tournament where we know you've got a chance to make the NCAA tournament if you can get on a roll and win that thing. Right,
because every team, you have one good week and you can see yourself in the NCAA tournament. Now, of your top scorers, you're returning Monica Albana, who set a sophomore record here at Loyola for most points in a season. She's probably one of your go-to girls this year, right?
Without a doubt. Monica had a terrific season last year as a sophomore. Obviously, she's going to be one of the people that people are aware of on scouting reports. But Monica's really worked hard in the off-season, looks great, in tremendous shape, and she's really playing well in the preseason. So we've got high expectations for Monica. In addition, Abby Scooby, also a junior. Abby stepped into a role as a starter when we lost one of our seniors, Ellen Ayub, to injury. And Abby really did well for us, averaged about 11 points in the Horizon League, which was 2nd on the team for us last year. So we really feel like those two in particular have a chance to help us score some points this year.
Right. Now, you talked about losing Ellen Ayub, who's out for the season with a back injury. She was out for the last few games of last season, too. How tough is it to lose a senior, in a team where you have all these girls coming back, to lose one piece and to keep everybody still focused on the goal?
Yeah, it's it's tough for our team and certainly tough for Ellen. The back injury does mean the end of her career, and so you just hate to see a young lady who's worked so hard and made so many strides not be able to compete. And so we just congratulate Ellen on a terrific career at Loyola. But we do have a couple young ladies that I think are ready. It does mean an opportunity for some others, and a couple of the people that we're looking for to step into that role. Again, Abby, who we just mentioned, had a nice year for us last year as a sophomore. A current sophomore, Troy Hambrick from the Detroit area. Troy averaged about 13 minutes a game for us last year, had a season high 13 points in a big win that we had over Milwaukee. And we'll also be looking to a freshman in Simone Law. Simone is a highly touted prep star coming out of the Chicago area. We've been really trying to hit the Chicago area to recruit, and so we're excited. Simone, in our exhibition game the other night, was our leading scorer, kind of carried us at times offensively, ended up with 21 points and 12 rebounds.
Okay, and finally, going into this year, you've had almost a month of official practice now. What do you think the identity of this team is going to be, of this year's Ramblers team?
Yeah, when we took over as a staff, we kind of identified 3 key statistical areas that we thought were going to be important to improve. And one area where we've really made a jump over the first 2 years is in taking care of the basketball. We've gone from the bottom of the Horizon League to 1st or 2nd in terms of assist to turnover ratio, averaged about 16 assists a game in Horizon League play last year. So we'll continue to really focus on taking care of the basketball, getting great shots, and then the 2 areas that we really need to see continued improvement in order to compete at a higher level are going to be getting to the free throw line, rebounding the basketball, and I told you 2, but I'm going to give you 3. One other is then just continuing to get better on the defensive end of the floor. And so we think we've got a few new pieces that can help us, particularly rebounding the basketball. We're also excited about a young woman who transferred in named Patrice King, who will be eligible this year for us. Patrice is going to really help us out defensively, and so we feel like if we can make a jump in those areas, we can make a jump competitively as a team as well.
That was Eric Simpson, the head coach of Loyola's women's basketball team. They open up the season on November 11th at North Park University when they take on Chicago State.
In this week's roundtable, Brendan Bond, Ricky Mallen, and Olivia Adamovich will debate college football.
As many of you know, Loyola doesn't have a college football team, but there's still plenty of college football going around across the nation. This Saturday, number 1 LSU takes on number 2 Alabama in what many are calling the game of the century. Guys, in 3 words or less, who's going to win this Saturday?
LSU.
It's 3 words.
That's my pick. I'm going with them. I think they've got the stauncher of the 2 defenses. Both have very impressive defenses, but I'm going to go with LSU on this one. They also have the better quarterback, I believe. And despite Trent Richardson and the Alabama running game, I'm going to go with LSU on this one.
I'm going to have to go with LSU too because obviously they're #1 right now, and their defense, like you said, their defense is amazing right now. So LSU for me too.
Roll Tide. Just because the game's in Alabama, I think if LSU is at home, they might go to them. Many are saying that the winner of this game is going to be the national champion. I mean, they still have to play the national championship at some point. Which team could possibly take it from LSU?
Well, I was thinking Stanford. I know Andrew Luck is the #1 Heisman right now, so he's definitely up there. He's one of the best quarterbacks, I think, right now this year. So,
yeah, I think Stanford's a good pick. I think if it's not somebody from the SEC, I think it could be Oklahoma State. Defense is a little shaky at times, but I think they've got a pretty solid offense.
I don't know. Stanford would be a good pick too, but I'm going to go with the boys from the Smurf turf, Boise State. Mostly because they have the left-handed Drew Brees, Kellen Moore back there. Guy's deadly accurate. He's about to break the career record for wins. He'd be my pick for the Heisman too. I mean, given that the fact that Luck is probably going to win it, I would still go with Moore. Who do you guys go with for that?
I'm going to pick Trent Richardson. I think, despite my earlier pick, if he does have a good game against LSU this week, I think that could give him the momentum he needs to pass Andrew Luck and surprise some people and take over the Heisman race.
I know it's a long shot, but I'm going to have to go with Robert Griffin III from Baylor. His touchdowns increased quite a bit from last year, so I'm going to have to go with him.
Any other big storylines you guys have seen over across the nation this year? Any other?
Wisconsin losing 2 weeks in a row on Hail Marys. That was rough. A couple weeks ago, they would have been my BCS pick, but not so much anymore.
Well, I'm from Ohio, so I'm an Ohio State fan, and I know that that this year was a big letdown with Miami and Michigan State. It was a huge upset. I know Columbus was very upset when they lost.
Yeah, and the other one to keep an eye on is Case Keenum. He's been breaking records everywhere for Houston, threw 9 touchdowns in his last game. But I guess our time's up, and unlike the Wisconsin defense, we go all the way to the end. Back to you guys, those guys over there. Where do they know at the desk?
Thanks, Brendan. I think Pat and I might know a little bit more than you. Well, that will do it for this week's Rambler Sports Locker. Tune in next week to get the scoop on what's happening in Loyola Athletics. I'm Mary Sugden.
And I'm Pat Longa. As always, don't forget to turn out the lights.